things are obviously a little bit different. Now, you may have, depending on how closely you follow game news, you may have seen recently a quote unquote journalist who had some things to say about the latest Pokemon game. Uh, and I forget what it is, but what they posted on Twitter was, this looks like a GameCube game. Can't Nintendo get with the times? And immediately there was a massive backlash from people who had actually, been alive for the GameCube era. And there are a lot of GameCube games that look really, really good. Visually, they still hold up today. I myself did a comparison of Wind Waker versus the Wind Waker re-release, and how well the artistic styling held up. But there were a number of other games that were available on the GameCube that weren't actually made by Nintendo, and one of those is Phantasy Star Online. Now, obviously on a recent stream I tried to play Phantasy Star Online 2, and it was not happy working with OBS. I got hitches, problems, things weren't exactly working. Now, if you've seen my YouTube channel for a longer while, you probably noticed that some of the videos, if you go back a ways, were from the 2012, 2011, 2013, when Phantasy Star Online 2 first launched. And I loved it. I described it as the best action game, the best game that that Sonic Team had ever made. It was an amazing mix of Devil May Cry style high-flying melee acrobatics with over-the-shoulder third-person shooter weapon play. Just this really bonkers mix between different genres of game, and yet it still felt like Phantasy Star. Or rather, it felt like Phantasy Star Online. And I do need a caveat here. There have been a number of Phantasy Star games between Phantasy Star Online on Dreamcast, Phantasy Star Online Episodes 1 and 2 on GameCube, which I'm obviously playing right now, and Phantasy Star Online 2. And most of those, I think, were Phantasy Star Universe. Now, the Universe games never quite found the same audience as the Phantasy Star Online games did. And part of that, it was down to, I don't think the Universe games were actually made by Sonic Team. I don't think they had the same director. I don't think they had the same programmers. They were also being made for different platforms. When it comes to online games, very few online games have a pedigree history of characters. And what I mean to say is that when you level up a character in one game, generally speaking, when there's a sequel to that game, your character does not carry over. Your character from Guild Wars 1 didn't carry over to Guild Wars 2. Your character from EverQuest didn't carry over to EverQuest 2. Your character from Ultima Online didn't go anywhere. Your character from whatever game here to direct sequel doesn't generally carry over. And for Phantasy Star Online, this was actually something that a lot of people were angry at on Phantasy Star Universe, in that console players who hadn't really been part of the whole MMORPG thing on Windows computers really didn't understand why the characters they had just sunk lots of time into, several hours, in some cases several hundred hours, in other cases several 100,000 hours, why they couldn't carry those characters over to a new game. And it was a very good question that Sega didn't have an answer for. Okay, now, in theory, in the story of Phantasy Star Online, you're not set in the same timeline. I'm not so sure that's such a valid explanation. And it's something where I really felt that Sonic Team missed the boat on. They had an online server. They could have just had characters log in, copy the character information, the character design, and I really don't want to go through Okay, I can do dressing room. And and I think I have the Meseta needed to do this change. Okay, if I go to the dressing room, you have a number, and this is, keep in mind, this is back in 2002, 2003, actually no earlier, because Dreamcast would have been 1998, 1999, where you have different body styles, you have different head options, you had character customization that you really wouldn't see, uh, or you wouldn't see like this, or you wouldn't see anything like this in any other game until City of Heroes, which actually came a couple years later. And that was a big deal uh, for City of Heroes. It is its character creation system was notably better than Phantasy Star Online. And Phantasy Star Online had really set a standard for ease of character creation, ease of modifying your character, and you could have several different characters, several different body types, something that other games simply didn't did. And even to this day, there's only 2 players in character customization: City of Heroes Homecoming and Phantasy Star Online 2. That's it. No other game gives you the amount of character customization option from top to bottom that these 2 games did. And sorry, I've played Black Desert. Know that character creation sucks. It really does. I've played pretty much any other MMORPG or MMO style game you can name that has a character creator. It's not as good, it's not as flexible, it doesn't give you the kinds of options that Phantasy Star Online did in 1999, much less what City of Heroes did just a couple years later. It's not even a contest. But that's not the point of this stream. The point of this stream, actually, was why does everyone keep getting excited every single time there's a rumor that somebody is going to buy up Sega from Sammy Interactive? Or whatever Sammy is calling themselves these days. Part of me really doesn't care. But it's any time that there's just a rumor, a fleeting suggestion, people just kind of go, yes, somebody finally buying Sega out from Sammy. And for a lot of gamers today, and I mean a lot of them, they weren't around when I gotta remember what I'm playing, what weapons. Okay, I've got a pistol. Yeah, I just gotta remember how the controls work. Okay. Okay, I'm apparently don't. Maybe VR Temple Alpha on hard was not a good idea. At least not on this character. Okay, I'm playing. Okay, I am about to get creamed by them. Okay, I think I'm going to have to leave and go back and find something with a little less difficulty curve. Or swap to a different character, because I think I chose a hard mode character. Yeah, going back to the lab. Alright. You know what? I'm actually going to do... yes, I want to override the slots. And we're going to actually go back. Kim, I think, was the name that Raida's got a kid. So I want to say the last time we were playing this, Kim was the character that she was playing now. Okay, Kim's only level 15. Raida's last character, Railea, is only level 1. So Riot can just be mad at me. Sorry, I'm killing your character off. Let's see. Recreate. Sorry. I don't want to kill off Riot's kid's character because if, we have another time where we're all together and can play a 4-player couch game, I really don't want to delete her character. But I'm okay with Riot can just be mad at me because I deleted his character. I'll call it payback for all the times he's deleted my saves. Anyways, okay. Let's see if I can skip through this and get right to the character generation. Alright, the way that this Phantasy Star Online worked, first of all, as a game, is you had different levels of difficulty right from the start. And that the Hunter class is the easiest class to play. And the Humor class is the easiest at the top. And as you read down them, it has the most balance growth potential, has recovery and attack. The next one down, the female version, she had the lowest HP, but has stronger techniques. HughCast, the Hunter Android male, close range, he had the strongest attack power, but he can't use techniques, can use traps. And then HughCastiel, which female, close combat, they have high accuracy and evasion. They can't use techniques, but can use traps. I think this is what I'm playing, is I'm playing Castiel. So I really shouldn't be using a pistol if I think I'm playing HughCastiel. I really should have gone with a sword to make use of her reflexes. Next one down are the Rangers, which use primary or with weapons. And again, it starts up at the top where the human male, he's the most balanced, he has the highest accuracy, and he can do recovery and attack techniques. And then down, high mental strength, they have strong attack techniques. Cast, which is the male android, they can't use techniques, they can use traps. And in Castiel, they have the greatest defensive power potential out of all of the Rangers. They can't use technique, they can use traps. Now, that does mean that you kind of have to play them like a ranged tank. It can be very funky playing a Castiel. So as this is going down, as the HughCastiel, the Castiel, and eventually the Phonorol, you're looking at the top of it, the easiest to play in each of the categories, and each of the categories is separated by which is the most difficult one to play. And Phonorel have the highest mental strength, TP potential, but they have very limited combat skills. And you basically have to use techniques almost entirely with Phonorels. So this was something that Phantasy Star Online did very, very well, and that it gave you an easy way to understand that whichever one you were picking maybe the most difficult to play character. HughCastiel, I want something that can use techniques. And we'll go with the can't use techniques. Can't use techniques. Ramarel. Strong attacks. Competent with weapons. Okay. I think I'm going to go with the Phonorol. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing that, Sega. And this was another thing. You had a randomizer, which would just run you through the different combinations that were available. And yeah, we're running into the limitations of running on GameCube hardware, how quickly it can respond. Again, we wouldn't see a slider like this, again, until City of Heroes. This is just something other games simply don't do. Let's see if I can get her height up some. Face, hair, character name, proportion. That was proportion. Costume. There we go. I like that. Skin color. We'll go with that. Oh, gotta put in a name. We'll call her... Oh. And I remember that some of the buttons that I'm looking for... Alright, so I do that. How do I... How do I change... Oh. Look down the screen! And we'll just roll with this. From Morel, Aria, saving. Okay, so we're starting Phantasy Star Online. New character, and we're doing episode 1. And this was another thing I liked back then. You could just move the little starburst around as the game loaded. Anyway, so you have this very personal attachment to the characters that you create. In next Phantasy Stars, you couldn't carry this character over. And even oddly, you couldn't go back and play through the maps that you had previously been on. There was no way to go back and revisit the maps inside that were in Phantasy Star Online. And you might go, well, you're on a different timeline, different planet. Well, as I just did in kind of the intro when I grabbed the first character and went in, one of the things that this game establishes is that there is a VR training zone in which you can go and check out fully featured maps that progress the story, that move you forward. Why couldn't next Phantasy Star games... I mean, okay, maybe if you jump to those games, you have to give up, you know, and you can't bring your character back to this game. But what if you could export your character out, log in, go to an online ship, go talk to a contact placed there for online, and that contact starts a mission that lets you save your character, which you could then access using your hunter's license. I don't think I can... Can I talk to her? Yeah. Got a mission. Alright. So anyways, this was where I think that a big mistake was made by Sega. First of all, with the Phantasy Star Online, the Phantasy Star universe, is that there was no taking characters forwards. And I've always kind of thought that that was not a great idea when the framework for taking the characters forward was already established as early as the GameCube release. Now, I do have the Dreamcast version hanging around here somewhere, but I don't think, since the Dreamcast version was just episode 1, I don't think it had the VR setup that episode 2 brings with it. And that's an important distinction, is the premise for being able to keep your old characters and keep playing them enter a new game, and that you could say enter Phantasy Star Universe, and your character could have already done the VR simulation for this game, Phantasy Star Online Episode 1 and Episode 2, and then you'd have a perfect reason for the character to still have the levels, the items, everything that they've got so far, since they've already earned those items playing through the VR in-game through the VR capabilities. Alright. Anyways. Kind of going back, again, the point of the stream. Why does everyone howl about... why does everyone get excited when somebody comes in and the rumors say that they could be buying... I may be waiting on this turkey to kill everything for me. Alright. Checking the map up above me, I just picked up a handgun. Okay. Slowly getting back into... Oh yeah, she's really reliant on monofluids. Okay, so she's gonna, if I recall correctly, if I stand still and do nothing, she should start to regenerate TP. But this may not be that. One of the forces regenerates TP if you stand still. Another type, they regenerate HP if you stand still. So, looks like I don't have the correct kind of character to do that. Alright, why does everyone howl when somebody is about to come along and buy up Sega? Because Sega used to make very good, creative, imagined games. And something you kind of have to remember when looking at this game is that it was designed to run on a Dreamcast. It was designed to run on a 56K modem. So a number of the controls are all optimized for using a standard controller. And we'll get ourselves some... I don't have any more magic attacks right now, but I can go ahead and slot myself some monofluids. And some monomates. And we'll get those settled. And we'll do item pack, equip. Okay, I can't use the handguns because my ATA is not high enough. I don't have a shield yet. Probably haven't picked up anything else yet. But one of the other things about Phantasy Star Online is that because it was primarily an online game, you could get the same experience of a single-player game, but playing online. And some of my favorite memories and stories that I've told over and over again is I would be running with a group of players. Okay. Alright, he got him. Thank you. I would be running with a group of players, and we'd like have an empty spot on our team, and then somebody from a different ship, a different realm, or whatever it would be called, would just join our game and then drop a high-level item and just give it to us. And that was mind-blowing at the time that And something else that went on. You saw earlier I had the keyboard. Well, one of the other things uh, there's also a quick equip. That was I'm using the GameCube controller, so right trigger. What is that? The Y button, right trigger Y button, and you get a quick equip. Y button gives you a keyboard. The If I do chat and I do a shortcut, we see that I have some shortcut lists, and I also have some symbol chat. And I can, like, say, we'll do a shortcut, we'll do list, and we'll register. Okay, you want to do assign shortcut keys, shortcut guild card. Yeah, guild card. You could also send mail, which again was new. Keep the Dreamcast, 1999, 1998 was when all this went down. You had your own info board. You could even check the log file of everything that had been said or done. Shortcut, so. And you have the different shortcut keys. You even have keyboard keys listed if you were using a keyboard. Now, I did actually use a keyboard to chat with in this for a long time. Let's see if I can... no, every time I do that, I accidentally cut out. So shortcut, register, left, right. I want... let's do symbol chat. Okay, help me register symbols. Help me. And this was the other thing, that because this, you never pause the game. You do all the interface work while your character is still in the game, which for the time was simply amazing. Shortcut. It's like trying to remember. How in the world you would... Sign and register shortcut keys. Edit and register symbol. Yeah, I know. I keep getting distracted and... yeah, getting annoying. Alright. Okay. Since the purpose of the stream, why does everyone howl? Because I keep getting lost in everything that this game could do, and actually did very, very well a very long time ago. And here we go, a little bit more instruction about the game. And flash forward, one of the ways that this game made money is it had a hunter's license. In order to play online, you had to buy a subscription. There were no gotchas, there were no scratch cards, there was no games with the inventory. The only way you increased how many items you could hold is you had to find an inventory storage deck upgrade, and then you could...